So right now, the Fall Guy is what we're starting off this summer, May 3rd,
And
2024. I'm
and if
excited.
you're craving Barbenheimer, it has Ryan Gosling,
Yes.
Emily Blunt, so it has the pieces that you loved and remember from last summer in Barbenheimer. This is the closest thing we're ever going to get to a Barbenheimer sequel. So I saw this film. They presented it at CinemaCon.
Oh yeah, you were at
It's a solid
CinemaCon.
piece of entertainment. Yeah, and it's a big budget comedy, which there aren't a lot of this summer. If we look down the list, there's the Fall Guy, there's Bad Boys Ride or Die, which is action comedy. Fall Guy is actually an action thriller comedy as well, so it kind of falls into that boat. But what the Fall Guy is and what it represents is something completely different for Hollywood. Like you said, Danny, it's been 17 years since a Marvel film, whether that is a Fox, Disney, or Sony release, since a Marvel film has kicked off the summer. 17 years in a row, we've had Marvel films. So Marvel is not the guiding light this summer, and that is a huge sea change for all of cinema. And whether the Fall Guy is going to be the Fall Guy or not, we're going to find out. Those opening weekend pre-sales are not inspiring me right now.
Me too. Not much in Michigan too, as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at those and I'm just like, and we have to remember, this is not a Marvel film. It's not going to open 100 million. Most of those Marvel films within the last 17 years, like I talked about, if we break those down, the average Marvel film opened at about 160 million domestic. And that is just so far outside of what the Fall Guy will be able to do. If it could do 35 to 40 million, that would be a great number for the Fall Guy. Some people, though, think that it's going to open below 30 million, which it'd be a tough start. I'm not going to lie. If Fall Guy does under, that sets a really poor tone for the summer. But that said, again, we're talking about an action comedy. It's a different beast. Those films usually have legs, and hopefully people will see this and they're like, hey, you know what? It's a good film. Word of mouth will be good on this, and it plays all through May. That's the hope for this film from Universal.
And the question is, Ryan Gosling's star power since Barbie, since his Kenergy brought the Oscar, and he brought the performance, and he brought the Saturday Night Live treatment. I think it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger ever since its portrayal as Ken. Wow. He's just right to the top where he should be like before. But right now, I think a lot of ladies would definitely show up. And look, Emily Blunt, I think this is a great co-star value. And I think this movie could do almost gigantic. But yeah, you're right. It's not going to be nowhere Marvel numbers. But if it can open in the 30s to 40s, I think this could do great start. The cinema score, we'll have to see. Look, this is May. It's pretty a little light at the moment. I think this is going to do just great for a genre for legs. What is your number going forward to predict opening weekend?
I'll tell you that in a second. The other thing that Fall Guy has going for it, it's a $125 million budget, which isn't bad for a film of this nature. It's got David Leitch as the director. A lot of people do know him from the Deadpool 2.
And Bullet Train.
And Bullet Train.
I love that film.
This guy knows action. He knows stunts. It's fun. It does feel like a popcorn movie. Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt have so much chemistry in this film. And Ryan Gosling, when he walks, every scene he is in, you just know he's a star now. He just is. He is a major, major star now, and you can feel it with this release. Now, the question is this too inside Hollywood? Because it is about the stunt community on a set in Hollywood. We know from the history of the box office that films about movies traditionally don't do great at the box office. So let's hope that people fall back on the comedy of this and not the fact that it's set on a movie set, because that can be a problem for a lot of middle America. It kind of turns them off. They don't want to see a film about the inside industry of Hollywood. So I'm going to go conservative on this. I'm going to go 35 million opening for the Fall Guy, which again, it's not bad. It just has to have legs from week to week. We know that second week is going to bring us Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
We'll get to that in a bit.
And that's the film that will open bigger than The Fall Guy, probably. I predict it will. That's the film. You should probably have flip-flopped these two, because I think Kingdom would have been a better kickoff for the summer movie season.
Right. You're right. So I meant to mention the trailers. Okay, so the songs were terrible. I will admit some of the trailers were just not good. But hey, the piece of story and the piece of action, I still like it. At least it's entertaining. So either way, the trailer songs were just at the same time. But regardless to the trailer songs, regardless of how bad and how good this movie looks, I'm gonna go with Ryan Gosling's star. I mean, I'm gonna go with 41. I'm gonna go 41 on that for sure.
And it could happen. Again, if it hits over 40, I think Universal would be very pleased. Again, you're right. This comes after a very slow period. And what we've seen at the box office in the past, when you have films underperforming, like we've seen from Abigail, like we've seen from Omen, Monkey Man, all of April really has been a slow month. Challengers will probably struggle this weekend. It'll do fine for what it is, but we're talking about big openings, and we haven't really seen that since March. So you're right. This has been a dormant period. The Fall Guy is a big, flashy Hollywood action comedy. Could hit 40 million plus. It would be nice if it did.
Oh yeah, totally.